Hey, it's Jared with another Elementor tutorial. Today we are going to look at customizing text within a page using Elementor. So we're going to add a new section here, just a full width section, and I'm going to drag it right above this button that I created in another tutorial. So if you want to learn more about buttons, then you can check out that tutorial. I'm going to give this section a little bit of padding just to space it out, and then we're going to grab our text editor and drag it into place. Now it populates with some filler text. This is fake text that's just there to kind of get you started. You can go in and customize that text by typing in anything that you want here. I'm actually just going to leave this filler text, but I'm going to add like a second paragraph, I guess you can say. And so we've got text in here, and it doesn't look too exciting. Depending on how you're laying out your page, you might want to do things like center the text, you might want to change its size, maybe even its color. There's lots of different things that you can do to kind of customize the text, as well as even add like a drop cap to it. So from here in the content editor, besides going in this section and doing things like making certain items bold or underlining certain items or italicizing them as we're doing here, you can see it's updating live over in the display, in the preview display. We can also create columns for our text, which is awesome. So you can see that every time we go down a paragraph, it's going to add another column. So if I go and add another paragraph, it adds it below there, and then as I add another one, it stacks it over on that side. And then we can do 3, we can even do 4, and stack all of our text like that. There's another way to do columnized text, which I think is the better way, and that would be to add a section that has 4 columns and add a text widget to each of those. Because we have our text like this, and it's going to be kind of hard. Let's actually just put a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 here, just so that we can keep tabs on the order. If we go down to mobile, you can see that's just not very pretty. It squishes all the text in like that because it's all in one column. We would want to have different columns, so 4 columns, not columns in the text editor right here, but actually 4 columns in the section so that our text appeared appropriately. So let's go back to full width, and let's turn off, let's go back to 1 single column, which puts everything on lines just like that. So the columns gap obviously would be an adjustment if we were utilizing those columns. I don't think that they're that great of an idea. So let's go over to style. We can center our text. We could change the color of our text to anything that we would like. Or if you want to go back to default, you just hit clear and it takes you back to the default that you had set. If you haven't set your defaults, clicking on the hamburger menu and going to site settings will allow you to do that. I have a tutorial on how to set the default, the global colors, and font characteristics. That is the best way to do this. Before coming in here and customizing your font on a specific element, it's best just to set that globally. So that way, every time you drop in a new text editor, you have those changes already applied. This is going to save you a ton of time down the road. So you could finish watching this video, and then you'll definitely want to go and watch the video on how to customize your global settings. Now we can also go to typography and do things like change the font. There's lots of fonts that are available here that we can change it between. We can adjust the size, the weight, the transform, uppercase, all lowercase, capitalize, normal, or just default. We can add a styling to all of the text. We can add a decoration to all of the text. We could do things like change our line height, which we might want to do, especially for making more spacing between our paragraphs. And then we can also adjust our letter spacing. We also can add text shadow, which is a little intense on bodies of text. But if your text is having a hard time standing out from the background, this might be a good option for adding a little bit of separation between the background and your text that's on the foreground. So there are some section editors that you can utilize here, but I typically don't make changes to these editors within the element. I make changes in the columns or the sections as opposed to making changes here. Of course, we can add margin and padding here, but I typically like to make these changes within the column instead of the actual editor. So aside from the different things that you can do in the WYSIWYG editor, the what you see is what you get editor, that's how you customize text and everything. You can add an image here. It still allows you to throw an image into a text box. And so you can see I have done that. It added a thumbnail sized image, and then I can wrap the text if I want, and it's going to space it. But I highly recommend using a separate element for adding your images if that fits what you're trying to do. If you go into mobile, you can see it kind of squishes the text over to the side here. If we had a different size for the image, perhaps if instead of thumbnail, we had that set to medium, which was a much bigger image. When we go to mobile, now we have like just the number 1 over there on the side. That's not really the best way to do an image. The best way to add an image would be to use the image block instead. So if we were trying to accomplish the same thing with an image over on the left-hand side, we would want to add a column. We would want to put our text over on this side. We can resize the column to something like that. We can go and grab an image, throw our image in there. We'll go ahead and just select that really quick. And now we have our image in place. And then when we go to mobile, you'll see it nicely stacks our image on top and we have our text down below. So a little bit more than just a how to edit text tutorial here, but sometimes it's just best to explain things as they show up as we get to them here through this tutorial. So that's going to do it for this tutorial. I have a full Elementor course available for free. You can check that out using the links down in the description below. You can gain access to that course on my website for free, or if you're interested in Skillshare, I have a free trial for Skillshare you can sign up for and then take my course for free during that free trial. You can do that using the links below. If you like this video, click that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel here so you get updates when I put out new tutorials. There's lots of other tutorials already on the channel, so make sure to click around and watch other videos. But that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much for being here, and I hope to see you back on the next one. Take care.